Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? Today we're gonna be playing a bit of Legacy. Playing Legacy, honestly, I just have been ignoring Legacy for a while. It is a really fun format, and I do love playing it, but just chance to jam in a while. And the reason I'm jamming Legacy right now is because they have this weekend playing thing where you win 3 rounds out of 5 at least in a Legacy or a Vintage event, and I'm much more familiar with Legacy, so I'm playing Legacy. And you have to do the same for a limited event. And I think the formats are what? Masters 25 and Double Masters? Either way, unimportant. Either way, I've played neither of those before. So, whichever one I play, it'll be new to me. Here, we've got some Orzhov Humans, and this does a lot of that aggro disruptive nonsense that I really like playing. You have a good clock in cards like Champion of the Parish, Folly's Lieutenant, and General Kudro of Drenith, all of which can either make themselves big or make your team big. We've got a lot of disruptive stuff to make sure your opponent doesn't really want to play spells, like Esper Sentinel, Thalia, and we know how much I love our boo on this channel. We also have Kitesail Freebooter to kidnap spells, so that's pretty sweet. And then we get to protect our own friends too with 4 copies of Mother of Runes. Rounding out the club is going to be Tomic, which is a 2-mana 2/3 flyer, already pretty damn good. But against lands, this card is lights out. It stops Wasteland, it stops them from targeting their own shit with Life from the Loam, it stops them from targeting their own shit, or even ours, with things like Thespian Stage. A resolved Tomic is kind of a nightmare for that deck. We also have 3 copies of Brutal Cathar. Whatever creatures they have, hopefully they don't, because Brutal Cathar is really good. We have 2 copies of Nightclubber, and this is a card I super love in Legacy. So the -1 is applicable for a whole lot of stuff. Opposing Mother of Runes almost always stay 1/1s, so this just clears them out without worrying about her text at all. It basically shuts down elves all in one go, and cards like Murktide Regent have the entire surrounding cast that starts at X1s. For example, Delver of Secrets, it's a 1/1 before it's flipped. Darcy, if she doesn't have Delirium, she's only a 1/1. And Brazen Borrower is a 3/1, so Nightclubber has a chance to get rid of all of the non-Murktide Regent creatures from that deck. You do still need to be a little careful about Ledger Shredder, but that's every deck in Legacy right now. And Kudro's really good for a few reasons. Of course, the Lord effect is really nice in a deck that wants to be aggressive, but also, whenever any human hits your battlefield, you get to exile something from your opponent's graveyard, and that's super gas. So that'll be incidentally really good against decks like Reanimator, against decks like Dredge, Hogak, even the Murktide deck, because you get to shut down things like Delirium and hopefully take some cards out of their graveyard and make it a little harder for your opponents to be able to cast Murktide Regent itself. Overall, great times. And if they do resolve a Murktide Regent, cool. Pay 2 mana, sacrifice 2 humans, down goes Murktide. In our sideboard, we've got a lot of extra creature removal too. We've got 4 copies of Swords to Plowshares alongside 2 copies of Swift Reconfiguration. And this card is effectively Swords number 5 and 6. You can, flash it in for just 1 mana, so the same as a 1 mana instant like Swords. And the creature becomes an artifact with Crew 5. And this is pretty good for creatures that don't have static abilities while they're on the table. For example, Merit Lage, good one. Uro's a really good one. There's going to be a lot of things that you want to take out, and not giving them extra life is actually a pretty big deal in a deck that wants to be really aggressive. We've got 2 copies of Stony Silence, and this is primarily going to be for the 8-cast deck, but it's got some fringe applications here too. Like, there actually is an affinity deck running. Opposing Death and Taxes is nice to shut down their vials and their equipment. You decide out your own vials if you get that. Lots and lots of use. 3 copies of Mindbreak Trap have a few jobs. First, of course, there's a lot of Storm decks running around. So whether your opponent's playing A&T or TES, Mindbreak Trap is going to do a really good job at exiling their entire stack once they go off. Best part, this has nothing to do with any copies of Veil of Summer. Honestly, they shouldn't leave that in against you anyway, but just in case. You have 1 copy of Perish, which basically says destroy target elf deck, but you also get some incidental applications too. Again, if you're playing against a deck like Lands and you see more than 1 creature type out of their thing, there's still almost always going to be green creatures. So they play cards like Elvish Reclaimer, and those can totally be destroyed by Perish. And 3 copies of Leyline and Avoid kind of rat out everything else. That card, again, just really good against a lot of archetypes, and the fact that you don't have to pay mana for it allows you to keep up your aggressive clock. Words are hard, okay? And this way you're not stuck trying to, finagle around with things like Rest in Peace, Grafdigger's Cage, Unlicensed Hearse, all of these things that are very good but cost mana. In this deck, you don't need to have things that cost mana, so we're not going to. And that's going to be our list. Good luck to us. I will see y'all in round 1. Alright, we're on to play for the first round. That's exciting. So let's go ahead and play first, see what we got. We have a not bad start. So I got a turn 1 mom, followed up by turn 2, basically whatever I want out of this group. So that seems nice. Okay, so turn 1, here's a mom, here's a turn. Let's see what it is we get to follow up with. Tundra, okay. So far, Tundra doesn't really tell me. Okay, Swords to Plowshares, that does. So we're probably playing against some version of Control deck, but let's find out. Here's that. We're going to name Human. And we're going to cast an uncounterable Thalia, which is super nice. So here if they untap and Prismatic Ending it, honestly, so what? But I like giving ourselves the chance to not deal with too much otherwise. Okay, we got Esper lands. Okay, so they are playing a turn 2 Ponder. So this could be really anything. Like this could be literally anything from Esper Control to Cephalid Breakfast to whatever. So I guess I'm going to untap here. Perfect, actually. The 1-drop was... So now I'm going to get to play Champion in a Parish and then turn Champion in a Parish, which I don't mind if they Force of Will, into a Kite Sail Freebooter, which is what I actually want to resolve here. Okay, cool. So now my Champion's going to grow, and we'll yield to that part. But let's see what they're working with here. Ritual, Brainstorm, Prismatic, Dark Red. So we've seen the hand, and I think I'm going to take Pending. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Pending and then make them work a lot harder around my copy of Thalia. So now we get to attack with our friend Thalia, and let's see what they got going on. So of course that Brainstorm is going to look pretty lovely on their side since they have a fetch, but honestly, if they have to pay with everything extra through Thalia, I think I'm still okay with them having access to the Brainstorm. I'm also going to take out this Draw Step Stop. So here's the Delta, there's the Lotus Petal. Now I would like to draw exactly one more piece of Disruption too, but let's see what happens. A Wasteland. That is in fact exactly one more piece of Disruption. So here I'm going to take out, I guess, the Undergrounds. With my Thalia, it's pretty unlikely for them if this deck is, say, something like a, I don't know, Doomsday list, for example, which it still could be just like an Esper Doomsday list. Like, I literally have no idea. Then I'll still be pretty excited to go ahead and make them have a little extra work on their hands to get everything. So Nightclubber honestly doesn't really matter as far as the text one way or the other, but it is an attacker that reduces their clock by a whole turn here. And I have access to another card being drawn at the end of this turn, so I think I like Nightclubber more here, just because like I really want to have additional draw steps that look good. Like I want something like, say, another Kite Sail Freebooter, another Wasteland, something else disruptive. Cavern of Souls, not actually it. But if I draw another 2-drop, I'll still be pretty happy to see that. For example, Valley's Lieutenant looks pretty good here. So here, this is probably just going to be an ELT Brainstorm. It is. Okay, we Swords to Plowshare the Kite Sail Freebooter. Okay, so now they can do this and get rid of Thalia. Yikes. So is that what's happening? It is what's happening here. Okay. So we know they have Dark Ritual plus something. A champion is not exactly what I would have asked for there, but I'll still take an additional 2 creatures here. So basically my job is to not die with the 3 cards that we know they have, because they do only have one more turn here to actually live. So fingers crossed. Not gonna lie and say I'm not scared here though. So opponent, are we dead? Hell yeah, not dead. Let's go. All right. So, games 2, and I think I want access to Mindbreak Trap and cards that I don't want. I don't really care about Brutal Cathar. I also don't really care about Nightclubber. And everything else here is at least decent, so I'm going to put in 2 Stony Silences here. We have already seen Lotus Petal, but in the event that they happen to be a Doomsday deck as well, then I'll be pretty happy to shut off Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, so as far as we know right now, this is just an Esper deck with Dark Ritual. But if we see otherwise relatively soon, I'll be glad to figure out whatever that is. But as of right now, this really could just... The hand is actually pretty good. So here I've got a turn 1 Vial, of course, and I can follow that up with a turn 2 Thalia if I draw a land. So if we just like don't die by then, this is pretty slack. Okay, so there goes my Aether Vial, or because I got 2 Thalia, so I really highly doubt they're gonna take one of these. But I do get to start off by just like untapping, drawing a card, and getting Mom. So this thing's not very long for the world, but everything else here still looks okay. So we got the extra land that I asked for, so thank you so much, deck. And now we're just gonna jam a Plains into a Mom and see if she manages to survive. If she can survive and protect my Thalia, oh boy, that's a W. Delta's getting Tundra, sure thing. And now what is Tundra doing? Are we swordsing or Prismatic Ending on Mom? Or are we going to try to do something with maybe Ponder? None of the above. Okay, so now I'm just gonna try to jam one of my Thalias then. If this gets the business end of a Force of Will, then whatever, you got me. But if not, Brainstorm in response. Noted. This could also just be like, I don't know, like a Fatal Push on this or 2. Okay, looks like that's not happening. So that means we're pretty happy so far. If I draw a land, I'll be really happy to go ahead and cast Valley's Lieutenant. If not, double Champion into Parish is still pretty deep. But let's see what we have access to after this turn. Because of Thalia, I'm pretty confident in our ability to untap like once, but maybe not twice more without some help. I don't know, we'll see. Dark Ritual, okay. So they've got 3 mana, 4 total as of right now, and it is in fact Doomsday. Okay, so not terribly happy to see that, but if we end up drawing for our turn something like, say, a Mindbreak Trap, I'll be pretty happy with that. Or if I can just plain old get away with drawing like a Kite Self Rebooter, that'd be nice too. But as of right now, I'm a little scared. Now, one piece of really sweet tech that I've seen against things like Doomsday, because they're searching their deck, is Archive Trap. And oh man, I kind of wish we had that right now. Of course, it doesn't work with Thalia on the table, but in another universe, I feel like that could be. I don't know how popular that piece of tech is, but I've heard of it before, so I'm assuming at least decently popular. I guess a Wasteland would also play here too. Yeah, a Wasteland would play pretty nicely actually. Get rid of one of the Tundras and make them work through Thalia. Okay, cool. So we've gone ahead, resolved our Doomsday, and they still have 3 cards in hand on top of the 5 in their deck. So let's see what... we actually drew the Wasteland I asked for? Nice, nice. Okay, so now I can try this double champion line and see if we're able to get away with one. So I don't mind doing this rather than casting Thalia's Lieutenant here, because I'm already not going to be able to kill them this turn. But man, that Wasteland, I think that Wasteland had the potential to be really sweet. So let's see if it actually is. Oh, you know what I should have done actually, now that I think about it? I just realized. If I played Thalia's Lieutenant instead of these 2 champions, I could have attacked them for 2 more damage. Would that have done anything? 2 or 5 instead of 2? No, that would have done a lot actually. I would have attacked for 3 more, and that puts them at exactly 2, taking them off of cards like Street Wraith. But it looks like they don't have it anyway. All right, well, I'm gonna jam one of these and then see if that matters. But yeah, that's what I should have done last turn. I should have cast Thalia's Lieutenant, attacked with both Thalia and Mom, knowing full well that this takes down my protection from Thalia, and still put them down to exactly 2 life, because that means that they can't cycle Street Wraith, where if I leave them at 3 life, they're able to cycle Street Wraith, and that potentially matters a lot against Doomsday. So that's on me, but we get a 2-0, so let's go to the next round. Alright, round 2, we're on the play again, which is really exciting. Let's see what our hand has though. Wonder how you pronounce opponent's name. Is it Troke? Trock? I don't know. They revealed a Yorion, so I'm pretty sure this is Death and Taxes. Let's keep this. I don't like the double Thalias here, but I do like Vile into Mom into Brutal Cathar / Nightclubber. So let's see if that's what ends up happening. Tundra. Okay. So, and a Prismatic. Ooh. So let's grab our Scrubland here and cast the first Thalia. Okay, so Thalia is going to catch a Force, so that's kind of what it is. What did they pitch? They pitched Ice Fang. Okay, so it's just like some Yori troll pile then. Pretty annoying if that ends up being Savannah. Okay, and Lavinia. Surgical my Thalia, what a dick, I have one. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you got me, I guess. So they only have 2 more cards into my, but, well, soon, I'm sorry, 4, duh. Oh, I'm so mad they actually got my Thalia when I had one. You suck. Alright, so I can just play Mom if I feel like it. I can Brutal Cathar away Lavinia, which I actually don't really think matters, so I'm just gonna play Mom and see if we can get away with untapping with her. So untapping with Mom is a pretty big, and I don't mind just pressing 6 here because they do have perfect information about my... Okay, so we've got a basic forest finally. And what is this, an Uro? No, it's a green sun for 2, so that's an Ice Fang. Okay, noted. An Esper Sentinel's a pretty good draw. I'm going to Brutal Cathar away the Lavinia. And because I've got the Nightclubber and I can blitz it, I don't really care about the Night Fang too much right now. But it's also pretty cool that Mom's going to be able to protect the Brutal Cathar too, so that'll be nice because the likelihood of me actually attack and not worry about too much. Eternal Witness can get back a Pending. Guess that's relevant. Okay. Nope, just getting Misty Rain. Sure, that makes... Okay, not doing anything about that. So this is sweet because my blitz on Nightclubber is actually going to be able to take care of both of these things. So let's see if they have another Force. If they do, then they're empty-handed and I'm still not sad. Hell yeah, let's go. That's exciting. Boop, boop. So they go to 12. And I'm gonna get to draw a card, and it's another Mom. That's not bad. So here, if I draw a land, I have the option to play all 3 of these creatures, which is really nice. Plateau. Okay, so we're playing all the colors. Felsi. Okay, so what's that getting? You know what? I have no idea. Let's just Ephemerate. Well, that's pretty damn. All right, an Aether Vial is not a bad draw. Let's cast Esper Sentinel. And there's really not a circumstance under which I'll be able to do anything about the Ephemerate that's already in hand. So I may as well just do this. So you can Ephemerate, and I'm gonna get a trigger here. They can pop the fetch if they don't want to let me draw a card, but that's pretty annoying. So they can look for removal spells, which is about a thing, and they let me draw the. Then they got another Ephemerate. Okay, so they're looking to loop Ephemerates with this thing, which to be fair is pretty damn. So now I get to go and effectively get 3 total spells with this, which is gonna be a bit of a yike. Green Sun. They have so many cards. So they got 2 Green Sun Zenith. So Hierarch, okay. So Zenith for 3. What is this, Uro? Yeah, it looks like this is probably gonna grab an Uro. Oh, it's Eternal Witness. Okay, or Ephemerate. So that actually is okay-ish if I can managed to grab another land too. So let's see if we can manage to draw that. Not quite. Okay, so I don't really have a way to stop all of this from happening. This is gonna be a lot. So I think rather than trying to stop it, just a little sad that my freeboot hack. Yeah, I think I need to do it like this to threaten a 2-turn clock. So they go from 11 to 4 here, and my job is honestly to just not die, I think, but that sounds really difficult. What's this? Is this the Uro I was scared of earlier? Green Sun is Zenith, where X is 2. Okay, so they are gonna pay for the Esper Sentinel this time. No, maybe. No, I just get to draw a card. Yikes. Okay. That's scary too then. Collector Roof. That's actually fine. I don't like Collector Roof, but I'm also not terribly scared of it. Also, haha, can't be activated. So that's pretty fun. Let's see what we can get trying. So are we ephemerating and looking for removal spells now? Is that what's happening here? So this is, yep, I was gonna say, so this is gonna be one of the ephemerates. So do we get to draw a card here? I do, and it's a mom. Okay, so Eternal Witness is going to target the ephemerate. Sure. Ephemerate Spell Seeker, noted. Orum's Chant, so I can't attack them. Wasteland. I don't believe that has text here. So how can I, let's do this first. Rocket, not helpful. Oh, I also can't cast spells. Okay. Yeah, got me. Go. So, how do I get out of an Orum's Chant lock?
One eternity later.
Okay, so game 1 is finally over, and it did take quite a while. Our opponent is at 9 minutes on their clock. So against a mega shit ton of creatures, I want a lot of stuff here. So all of these cards seem pretty good. Swords to Plowshares and Swift Reconfiguration are going to be pretty good against the Soulherder deck, and I'll be pretty glad to make sure that their creatures just don't really have text, right? Only thing to know. Swords to Plowshares, just great. So Swift Reconfiguration can be a little medium because a lot of cards still have actual text. So I'm actually going to take those out. I had to rethink that. Cards that I don't really care about against this deck. Don't really care about Toman. And Thalia is actually kind of medium because almost all of their cards are creatures. Same goes for Kite Self Rebooter. But I like those a little more than Thalia because I'm putting in the Swords to Plowshares and the Parishes. I don't want to body my own spells. So these are going to be pretty good. So we got to see cards like Collector Oof, Eternal Witness is pretty important. We saw, of course, the Hierarchs. All of those things are green, as is Uro. So I'll be pretty glad to have the one. So against Soulherder, we want there. So got all of these cards coming out, all of the removal, and a little bit of graveyard hate coming in. Let's be on the play here and see if this game goes a lot better for us. So we've got double Wasteland, Cavern of Souls into Esper Sentinel, Swords, Lovers. So I think this is actually okay. So the Cavern's obviously a pretty great start. And yes, I would rather have this be like a mom or a champion here. Like Esper Sentinel is my 3rd best creature against this archetype, but it's still not nothing. If they want to like Swords to Plowshares this now, rather than playing like a Hierarch, and they're going to have to do a little to get rid of this first. So let's see what actually happens. Also, if this is a vial, I guess I'll be glad to. Oh, looks like I got the vial. All right, never mind. So let's play the Silent Clearing, get my attack on here, and then I can just play the vial. So do you get forced? No. All right, go ahead. 1-2 for Collector Roof. I'll be pretty glad to Swords to Plowshares that. Sick. So vial is going to go up to 2 now, and I'm just going to replay this vial, Wasteland the Trop, and see if this is a line. Well, Hierarch and Night Clubber is going to look pretty good. Untap. Yes. Champion first, land, Night Clubber, and I'm not going to blitz it. I'm just going to actually play it and keep the threat on the table. Doing this so is also really strong because I'll be pretty glad to not have to deal with Force of Wills that can come for our creatures. And yeah, so far this is looking pretty decent. So there's another Hierarch, and what do we get out of this draw step? Vials are on 2 and 3. I think that's good. Don't really want that though. So let's do this. Sword. Kind of wish I had the swords to deal with this right now, but that's what I get for tapping with the Cavern. No, I didn't have a way to. Never mind. I was gonna say that's what I get for mistapping, but I straight up just never had a way to actually get this in play. So now I gotta what? Draw a white source if I want this. A Parish. Not helpful right now because I still don't have the white source, but if I draw a black source, I'll be pretty glad to cast the Parish here. And Ice Fang can trade with this. That's fine. Yeah, it's not like wonderful, but a thing that's gonna happen. So I'll just go ahead and play our 3rd vial. Don't really want it, but it's what we got. And if our opponent ends up playing a land here, then I'll still be medium happy to Wasteland it. Oh, Green Sun? That looks like that's just gonna be another Hierarch. So now I really want a black land for this Parish. Let's roll that. No. Yes. Not really. All right. Let's attack. Eternal Witness. All right, getting back what? Trop probably? Yeah, the Trop. Okay, so I'm gonna not Wasteland right now because I want to draw a black land. So if I can actually draw a black land, then I'll be pretty glad to kind of let that rock. So I'm gonna keep these on 1, 2, and 3. That's not bad. Not the thing I asked for, but it's not bad. So let's do this. Let them block, and then I can Violin General Udro. This can take out Fang, I guess, and now I will take this out. I don't actually know if that's going to cut them off of too much, but it's still a thing we have access to. Oh my god, they have Solitude. That sucks. All right, so it looks like General Kudrow is going to go away. Yeah, and there's not really much I can do about that. So they're going to take 3 from the champion and go down to 3. Okay, so a white land would be really welcome for Swords to Plowshares. Looks like we're currently doing nothing. So I wonder if nothing really, like they have an cast or something. Well, looks like that doesn't matter. So let's attack. If this is an endurance, yeah, can't do that. And I'm going to do this now so that I can go ahead and have this thing flip because I didn't ever actually cast a spell on my turn. So if they have another Swords, that sucks. Okay, good, they don't. So now this is going to become a Moonrage Brute, and they can't even target it because they're at 3. So what's this? An Ice Fang. Okay, that's actually not bad for me. So I'm going to get to untap here. My thing's got First Strike. Cavern is not helpful, so I'm just going to get an attack in. So they got to block it, which is good. I'm still going to play this Naming Human. Now let's see what we can get out of this. A Brainstorm. Okay, not much I can do about that. Hopefully they have no ability to solve this Moonrage Brute. Sick. Alright, so now we're going to go to game 3, and our opponent's only working with like 7 minutes on the clock. So knowing that this is the way our game, do I want to change it? I think the answer is still negative. Yeah, I'm going to keep this exactly as it is. So getting Leyline against Uro/Eternal Witness part of their hand would be nice, but this isn't bad. Like I have 1 drop, Wasteland potentially on 2 drop, or just draw a 2 drop, and then 3 drops are not bad on the. So this isn't 8, but it's not bad. So Green Sun for 0, so they're going to get the Dryad Arbor here, untap, and we get to cast a Mom. That is something that I would like to. So let's see if Mom actually finds a way to survive here. He does. Ultra fantastic. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I'm a liar. Oh, that's good. I'm going to, yeah, let's just champion in Mom. Try again and see if this works. So now this turn, I can also expect that they don't have any kind of, oh, sick. So I'm going to just play the Night Clubber then, get rid of their land. Oh my god, that's really good for us. So now next turn, obviously this turn is whatever, like we don't know what we're gonna draw. But a Silent Clearing, okay. So I can Wasteland here and General Kudrow for the Lord. And all in all, this is pretty exciting stuff. So let's Kudrow the Swords to Plowshare, just in case they can get back into the game and start doing things with Eternal Witnesses or whatever. So now we're attacking for 8. They're in theory going to 9. Because, like, there's no way they sack their last permanent. So let's see what they actually can come up with. They have an island. Okay. So we are fighting back and doing something. I'm going to try to draw a card first. Survival is not something I really wanted there. So I'm just going to get an attack. That is an Ice Fang just to block. So it's going to block 5. And that's honestly whatever because of the fact that we already have access to a, what am I thinking? We already have access to Vile here. They don't have the Snowland. Solitude is annoying because that can take care of General Kudrow here. But, like, even that's not the end of it. They'll have a 4/4. So can take that. I'm going to play this and then you can go. So things I would like to draw include any Swords to Plowshares to get rid of Hierarch. Another Night Clubber would be actually excellent. A General Kudrow is not bad. I am interested in playing. So let's play this pre-combat here. Champion up. Kudrow getting rid of Solitude. Here's some attacks. So if they have another Ice Fang to get rid of this, or even just like a Swords, March of Otherworldly Light. Alright, so they take 3, they go to 4, and I'm still okay-ish. So I would really prefer to have like 1 or 2 more come up, but we are going to be drawing up to 2 more cards with Silent Clearing. So that's not a bad look. So let's put this up. Aether Vial is definitely not what I wanted. Leyline is also not what I wanted. I don't know how relevant that's going to be, but let's thin our deck first, just a little fine with it. Oh, there we go. All right, let's go. So now we are up to 2-0 over the Soulherder deck, which is not an easy matchup. But yeah, on to the next round. Okay, round 3, we're on the draw against Discover N. And I have a bit of a question mark of a hand here. So if they're playing some kind of deck that's not a Wasteland deck, then I'm feeling pretty decent about this. If this Vial gets forced or anything else really bad happens to it, then this hand is pretty lackluster, except for the fact that I have a lot of stuff to do if I untap with it. So I'm going to gamble. So I want to resolve Volcanic Island, so alright, gamble failed. Gamble failed, everybody. Let's get dazed and then wastelanded and then go home. Alright. Welp. And are we getting wastelanded to go home? We are not getting wastelanded, okay. So there's a Delver. Can I draw a second land maybe? No. Here's a Mom. And let's see if we can manage to untap with this. Nope. Getting forced. Okay. So they don't really want any part of us having Mom either. Is understandable. Okay, so they're going to play Brainstorm to force Delver to flip here, which I don't necessarily think is a bad play. Like, since I'm already stumbling on lands, you might as well take advantage of that and try to kill me, right? They revealed it. Okay, so now they're gonna get to cast a Ponder, which is pretty normal fare for them. So here's a Bauble. Okay, good. So I would much rather they cast Ponder than say cast a Murktide Regent here, but it's looking medium grim here. So where do we even start? I guess we start by drawing a land. So we're gonna be taking 5 here, or 6 here, going down to 13, and I'm gonna pack this up here. Okay, so we've got a lot of removal spells, which I actively really love, and I also kind of want to put into Leyline. Not enough to the point where I'm actually going to do it, but it was a thought. Anyway, things that I don't really want. I am very medium on Kitesail Freebooter in this matchup, and I don't really know that I want... no, I do want Tome, because a large part of their game plan is going to be to try to get me with things like Wasteland, and just a 2-3 flyer after even 1 pump is pretty good. So I guess Esper Sentinel is my worst of the 1-drops, but I still want to keep 2 of these in here. Like, Champion just gets big and out of hand pretty quickly. Mom is absolutely busto, but obviously you gotta untap with her, but she's still really... And Esper Sentinel can totally be useful, just is the worst one. So against Izzet Delver, so we want all of the removal, we want a lot fewer of the clunky cards, and now let's see if we can go ahead and a little better on the play. And this certainly counts as a little better, so let's keep this. So I'm still medium unhappy about the line they could have of just like Force of Will this, untap, Wasteland me, but it looks like that's not what's gonna happen. So I do need to be medium wary about their ability to... that's fine, I don't really care if you want to do that. I was gonna say I need to be medium wary of just like a turn 2 meltdown on Esper Sentinel and Aether Vial, but if this is all they got going on, then I'm okay with that. So let's name human. Oh crap, I should have played this one first because I'm not Esper Sentineling right now. I'm gonna do this in their upkeep though, before they have the chance to actually cast something that's like relevant like a Ponder. Okay, so there's a Misty, and now I'm gonna get to untap and then put Thalia into play. I'm also gonna get to put Thalia's Lieutenant, so all in all, not bad. So let's do this, and I'm gonna do this first. And now we're at the point where this game, honestly, probably 2 out of hand. So I will very happily take this. So if they can manage to pay 2 mana and use that 2 mana to deal with Thalia, then okay, looks like they... So let's put this up to 3, and it's a Swords. Okay, so I do want this. I do want to cast a Swords. Go ahead and get an attack for 6 in there. Now we're going to 12, and let's see what they have to the events tapped. You got it. Wasteland, and what rough. That is rough. Okay. Yeah, you got it. So I do still get to cast another Thalia here, which is nice. Swift Reconfiguration can also hit something like a Murktide. So I'm totally not out of options. So I get to yield and have your card for that. Let's draw a plane. Okay, so I'm actually pretty happy to draw that land, since now I actually do have access to the Swift Reconfiguration if that's what they want to do. If they're going to Wasteland one of my silent clearings, that's fine. I can card with it. So see what got a Delver. That I honestly don't really... Now what? Is this a Meltdown? Oh, it's the Murktide. Sure. So again, that's fine because I do have access to this Swift. So, and they can't cast Force or Daze, so I'm gonna pay to 2 life and just get rid of it. It's a Mom. That's a pretty good draw actually. So let's draw a card here. It's a Wasteland. I want to waste their waste actually. My lands are more valuable than... Yeah, like trying to keep them off of colors is just like... I won't go so far as to call it a stupid plan, but it's not an effective one. But let's see if I can find a way to untap with this Mom. Impressive. Okay. They have not made a land drop yet, so they can still draw 2 there. Force of Will, that's all right, cool. So I take 3 and go to 13 here. Not really to do about that. So let's untap, see what we draw. A General Kudrow. That's actively freaking great. I kind of want to see if I draw a 1-drop as well. I don't, fine. So do this, get my Kudrow on, and get rid of the Expressive. So I understand that... Oh no, never mind. It loses all abilities. Never mind. I was gonna say, I understand that that actually does go up a little bit. Oh no, it still counts? Yeah, it still counts. Okay. So I'm going to play this. On the ridiculously off chance it matters, I want to give myself at least the ability to use 2 mana to clear out something else. I don't think it's gonna end up mattering, but the ability is there, so I'm gonna give it to myself and use it. There's a Darcy, you got it, and a Ponder. Okay, so thanks to Thalia, we know that they can't cast or really do much of anything else here. They can make a land drop, but that's really it. So here, what would I like to draw? I suppose I would like to draw a Nightclubber would be excellent. Okay, so they do have the island. So a Nightclubber would be straight up excellent. And what else would I like to... Brutal Cathar's not bad. Champion's not great. So let's just attack with Thalia and Kudrow. So they can only block one of the, like, well, because she's got first strike. So if they want to block a Delver onto General Kudrow, then I guess I'm okay. Nope, we're just doing this. That's fine. Now I don't have to use Mom. And, oh, first strike. Oh, crap. It put a creature in the graveyard. Oh, that was really good on my opponent. I'm bad for that. Okay. That's on me. Shit. Oh my god. I can't believe I didn't think. No excuses. Just didn't occur to me. So what is this 3-man? Inexpressive. Okay. Luckily that doesn't. So if I can draw like another human champion, that'd be great. But I'm still the dumbass here for letting my General Kudro die. So what is this 2-man? It lets them cast a Murktide. That's definitely a thing. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening too. So whoopsie. And I no longer have my General Kudro to kill this. Oh, and we are not on the smart now. Let me tell you. Man, if I lose this game to a 7-7 Murktide because I fucked up, stupid. I mean, to be fair, I'm already kind of good. And we draw a Mom. Okay, so I'm going to cast our friend Mom here. So I'm going to give this protection, get an attack in for 2. And then from here, I kind of just got to like hope this is good enough because honestly, I fucked up. Like this is on me. If we don't go to a game 3 because my opponent's able to resolve like a rough tumble, then honestly, I deserve that. Okay, so here's a Mishra's Bauble and they now have 4 melee with 5 if they actually make a land drop. Sick. So we're going to get to go to a game 3, even though I am still a little upset at how bad we that up. I'm going to resubmit this list though, because I think our plan was good, even if I was not. Okay, so what's my hand look like? I've got 3 lands, a vial, and things to do on both 1 and 2 for mana. All right, I'm with it. And this is actually kind of cool because of the way our lands were too. So I'm going to play the Caracas first, and that's going to be the one that I care the least if they manage to have a wasteland for it. I do like double vial. Let's start there. Okay, that's going to resolve. That's a great start. So now, if they have a wasteland for this, then that's kind of whatever. I can't really do much about that. Chain Lightning is the reveal. Noted. Delver number 2. And here I can Violin Mom at the end of turn. And since we saw specifically Chain Lightning, it is good to know that that'll evade all of that nonsense. So I'm going to start by swordsing here in case of daze. Yeah, they have the force. Okay, so now I'm going to cast my vial. And I kind of want, damn it, I was going to say, and I kind of want them to daze that because I don't really care about it. But the cool part about this next turn now is that I'm going to get to untap with hopefully Mom and Thalia's Lieutenant, play the Cavern, and then use that as mana for Iganjo so that I can kill this flipped Delver. So that's kind of our goal here. We go to 13. There's a Darcy. Jeez, so many. All right. And we know that the one spell is a Chain Lightning. Let's see if the other one is one that... No! Come on! Alright, that's annoying. Alright, a Wasteland. Wasteland is not something I want right now. Let's Cavern of Souls here, naming human, and I get to, what, Thalia? One of these creatures. Hopefully this doesn't flip here. Damn it. Stop having everything correct, opponent. Alright, so I'm getting Chain Lightning here, which I guess is actually fine. So I go to 10. They're gonna get to do the thing. That puts a sorcery in their graveyard. So this is gonna be a 4/4. And honestly, I don't feel so bad about having to Iganjo this one rather than a Delver's because it is just like a much better creature than a Delver's. But like, what am I doing with the rest of this turn? So I go to 4 and basically crossing my fingers here. So I can draw any combination of like a Swords, a Swift reconfiguration. I can draw Brutal Cathar. We do have a lot of live draws here. That is not one of them. We are fucking dead. That sucks. All right, well, got Delvered. Next round. All right, we got round 4, and our hand is, fine. I've got to fetch into a basic for my champion, so I actually do like that. And I have a little bit of disruption in my Kite Sail Freebooter, and let's see if that ends up being good enough here. I do like getting a basic, though. I'm a huge fan of basic lands in this format. Volcanic, okay, and a Darcy. All right, so it looks like we're getting Delvers again, which I think is actually fine. So here I will go ahead and grab... Do I want the scrub land? Yeah, I'm going to grab the scrub land, because I don't really care if they want to daze this. It's so easy for them to get it back anyway. And if they don't daze it, then it's better for me. So let's see what actually ends up happening. Okay, so it looks like the freebooter is going to resolve. So let's target them. Let's yield to this. See what we can take. There's a lot of stuff actually. Okay, and they have EI, Force, Bolt, Tide Region. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Lightning Bolt and not worry too much about what else is happening. Is that the whole hand now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's go ahead, attack here. And of note, they do have 2 more lands. So I'm pretty glad that we actually chose to play this instead of trying to wasteland them because they have 2 more lands anyway. So they're not exactly hurting for mana. That's not bad. So here I'm going to do this and give them a chance to Force of Will this because I also want to take out either Murktide or EI from them. So what did they take? They took out Murktide Regent. So Force pitching Murktide, Delver down. Got it. So now let's go ahead and get an attack on. And I'm going to do this now. Get our 3 points in. And I will use this Wasteland. And this isn't that bad here. So they of course are going to get to draw up to a 4th card. They can just play their Delta and go whatever. They got a little bit of work to do if they want to cast this EI here. I'm going to take my 1. Kinda whatever. Let's see if our opponent has something other than a Bolt. So I'm going to cast Thalia's Lieutenant here. Still going to play around days, and if they want to, like, I don't know, pitch bolt or pitch unholy heat here, then you got me. But I'm gonna give myself the chance to. Oh, hell yes. I'm gonna give myself the chance to win by making my creatures big. Okay, so it looks like one of these is going to be a bolt, which means that the other one's gonna get freed too, so they can bolt the freebooter, freeing this bolt, and then bolt the lieutenant, but they're still gonna be taking 4 and going to 8. So if that's what ends up happening here, then I'm not the hugest fan, but it does free up my Brutal Cathar too. Petty theft, okay. Well, that's annoying. Got it. So you still take 2, and in main phase 2, I can just replay this. So that's actually not even that bad for me. So now what? So now they can go ahead, attack. They have a land. They can hold up Brazen Borrower to block my freebooter. If they don't have a land, then I guess they cast EI here to get one. You gotta attack, I'm sorry. So I go down to 14. Now let's see what they do. They do have a land, which means they're holding up the Brazen Borrower to block. So I'm gonna Brutal Cathar, get rid of Darcy, and then just attack with the Ground Pounder since this can't block those. Okay. Now I'm gonna attack for 5. Not walking into that very free block from the from this thing from the freebooter. Cool, good stuff. They can still cast the Brazen Borrower. That's kind of whatever at this point. Like I already didn't plan on attacking into this thing anyway. So there's the EI. Okay, so we no longer know any of the cards, but if we can go ahead and resolve this Brutal Cathar, or if I can just draw like, I don't know, Nightclubber or something sweet, that'd be finish out this game. But so far we've got a relatively decent leg up. We're at 14. We've got a lot of attackers. So hopefully this is good enough to cross that finish. A Cavern of Souls would be especially useful here. Brainstorm is pretty scary. I don't know how scary it is here though. Yeah, all right, sick. So we take game 1 against Delver, which is already much better than last game. So we're still gonna put in like just a shit ton of removal, right? Here, again, we're gonna take out the 2 Esper Sentinels. Granted, these cards were really good, but I think they're the worst of the bunch. Okay, all the removal. These things are not useless, but not as good. And hopefully this match goes a lot better than the last one did against Delver, right? You know what? I actually am in for this. So we've got double Mom, which is great. And I actively want to lead off of the Cavern of Souls so that Mom doesn't get countered. This does walk us into a wasteland, which is a little bit sad times, but I think that might be a risk we're willing to take to make sure that Mom actually gets, or I can do this, cast Mom. If it gets dazed or something, so be it. But if she untaps, it's really good for me. But also, I can Cavern into Tomic, and that disables their wasteland. So that's what I'm actually going to try to get done. I assume that this Mom's being vaulted and that she's not long for the war. Oh, shit. Oh? Are we actually going to get to survive with a Mom? Yeah, please let her untap. Okay, so there's a wasteland down, which is good because I have a caverns, but it honestly just means they probably have another. If I draw a wasteland, I think I actually will wasteland if they don't play another land. Damn. Actually, I'll still wasteland that because it means they definitely just don't have another better land. Okay, so that's not what's going to happen here. So let's name human, and I'm going to stick to my plan of casting and resolving Tomic. So now I'm going to be immune to any copies of wasteland from them. And then if I draw another land here, I can untap and then immediately like Mom plus Dolly's Lieutenant or Champion plus Mom. Just I have a lot of options. So we're gonna ponder, rid of another island here. Okay, so it looks like we're digging pretty hard for a land. So cards that I would like to draw. A land would be actually perfect, like straight up stone perfect, but I would not mind seeing Swords to Plowshares, Swift Reconfiguration, a Nightclubber after I draw another land, assuming I can keep these 4 types, not 4 toughness, sorry. A land for Kudra would also be pretty decent, but I actively want to get rid of sorceries if I see that. Still, not necessarily a bad take. Somebody's outside honking 230. Opponent is tanking about this pond. Okay, so they actually did shuffle after all. So, oh, and they drew the land. Nice. Can't even be mad about that. So I'm going to let this through. I don't think I need to test my luck with copies of here. Oh my god, a third one. All right, so they did this in the end step. Oh, hey, there's a Swift reconfiguration. Nice. So I'm going to cast, so let's see if they have like a Force of Will or something for it. Oh, thank god. I won't lie and say that wasn't scary. So let's cast another Mom here. And I think I have to just kind of pass here. So if I target Tomic with Mom, giving it pro red, then I'm allowed to block one of Darcy's if I get away with that. But they have 4 cards in hand, and that's kind of a lot to ask, I'm not gonna lie. So I think I still take this, go down to 7, and then untap with double Mom and resolve with Alia's Lieutenant, making this a 3/4. Wasteland doesn't have text here, which is nice. Inland fortunately does. That's gonna go to my face. Oh, they kept a card on top too. Yikes. I do not have double red opponent. Okay. This is what we're gonna try. So I'm gonna end up going to 1 like this. Very scary, not gonna lie. Oh man. Okay, I'm dead. Game 3. Man, a third land for Kudra would have great up. Excellent. So on to play, I think I want to put these back and take out reconfigurations, lieutenants, champions, champion. Like, they're big and they do attack for a lot. No, I want those more than. Oh god, that's Thalia's. Whoops. I meant her lieutenant. Whew. Yikes. All right. Yeah, we definitely want Thalia herself, especially on the play. For this reason. So now I can Marsh Flats to go get basic plane and then cast Vial. untap Thalia. That seems great. So here I've got 4 lands, so I do definitely want to draw more creatures. But as far as 3 cards to in hand to start with, I think these might be like among the best 3. And our opponent's taking a mull to 6. That makes me feel a lot better about this little keep here. Okay, so let's get our basic planes and cast our vial, see if it gets forced. Oh shit, it actually did get forced. All right, honestly, I'm a little surprised opponent kept force in the deck with, you know, knowing that we already have all of the copies of, what am I thinking, available. Let's Wasteland here, and that will unlock Swords to Plowshares since they can daze it now. If they have another, okay, I was gonna say if they have another force, then yeah, sure, you got me. But let's see what they have access to now. Thalia, cool. And since I have 2, I actually don't care if they force or daze this one. I almost kind of want them to. Not kind of, I actually definitely want them to, since I can untap, Wasteland something, and then recast Thalia. So a daze here would actually work pretty well for me as long as we can draw creatures. Okay, so they're brainstorming, probably looking for a daze. Like I said, would not be terribly sad if they found one. If they don't find one, then that's cool because I have a Thalia, but I actively want them to kind of walk themselves into my Wasteland. Because like if they brainstorm here, don't daze Thalia, untap, and draw land and play Ponder, then they can actually still play like a pretty decent amount of magic. I would like my opponent to be able to play no magic if it... Okay, so it looks like they did in fact have the daze. So like I said, that actually works out relatively well for us here, because we might just get to have the line of like Wasteland, move to next main step, Thalia, then just kind of keep the pain train going with almost any other creature. So they do in fact have a Delver. Okay, and there's a Thalia's Lieutenant. Noted. So let's do this, cast Thalia, and see if these last 2 cards are force blue card. Looks like no, they're not. So now if this Delver doesn't flip, then we're off to the races and we're probably winning them. But the chances of them not flipping is pretty low since they just brainstormed. Oh shit! Alright, so it looks like they kept the land. Cool. And they can cast another creature with this land, so if they have like a Darcy, then that's gonna work. Yeah. But now I'm just gonna get to jam this Thalia's Lieutenant, and then if I have a 1-drop, I can jam that too. So let's go, I don't know, Mom? Not quite. Alright. Oh, you know what? That was a mistake to play. I probably shouldn't have played the scrub land. Because now they can waste it, and if I draw a black card I really want to cast, like a Nightclubber or something, then I'm not going to be able to, and that's my fault. So they can flip this and Surveil if they cast a spell here. So I won't say that I'm not. Alright, I'll block Darcy here. That might be false. I might still block Darcy here. No, you know what? I am gonna block Darcy if they attack with. Dang. So it looks like they're not gonna attack with her, but that's fine because I can draw another human. Probably still be okay-ish. So let's see what ends up happening. A Mom. Mom is actually pretty good. If the last 2 cards are force blue card or daze, letting her Surveil, then I won't be terribly happy about that. But it looks like that's not what's happening. So let's get my attack on here. They can't cast a spell to give this Surveil right now, so they're just going to take this 5 and go to 10. Let's see if we can kind of get away with one. Aw, oops. They go to 8. Is this a Murktide Regent? Please don't. They could just like have a bolt and be ready to kill Mom, which I won't enjoy, but I accept that it can happen. Okay, so it looks like this is definitely a Murktide Regent. Oh, it's a Ponder. Oh, shit. All right. That puts 4 types in, so now the Darcy has to attack. That's not that bad for me. So I go to 10, and now opponent's gonna go to 3. Make that 2. Oh, crap. I'm so stupid. Oh my god, I had lethal. I could have just fucking cast Thalia and proc this and attacked with Mom too. Okay, so I just missed lethal because I remembered rule number 1 of playing Legacy with Mother of Runes, and that is that you just never ever attack with Mother of Runes. But here, that was actually false. I should have attacked with Mother of Runes because I could have played this, made this bigger. That would have been 7 damage here, and then Mom is the final damage. So, okay, good. Well, if they're going to cast a Ponder, then I really don't care. So, that's whatever. But that doesn't mean we didn't screw up. So, the most I can take here is 6 damage and go to 4. But, holy, yeah, we could have won that game anyway. But, whatever. 3-1. Let's move on to the last round. Alright, round 5 on the draw, and I want absolutely no part of this hand. So, come on, man. Let's, yikes, indeed. Okay. I guess giant F. So I gotta put 3 of these cards back. So I guess I'll these back. That does not make me happy. So here I really just might as well have forfeited game 1. So Geldoc Isle. Okay. So Thalia actually has a lot of potential here then, because this is definitely Doomsday. So we can resolve. That's actually a really good draw. So we can resolve this Aether Vial, hopefully. And if we resolve the Aether Vial, then that gives us a decent amount of leeway to resolve this turn 2 Thalia, and then she's got a lot of play against Doomsday, so maybe we actually have outs here? And I almost want this to get forced. Not actually. Our set is in the exile zone. Noted. Another basic island, you got it. And Malevolent Hermit. Honestly, kind of cool, not gonna lie. So let's cast this on human. Here's a Thalia. So now The fact that they have a human on the table is not even like, ah, shit. They already have the thing. Okay, well, I have to take out the Shelldock Isle and hope to God the card that they... Oh, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Oh my God, we stole it. So the card under here was the Thassa's Oracle. And oh my God. Oh, we stole one, y'all. Absolutely stole that one. Wow. I will certainly not complain about that at all. No, I'm gonna keep it in Night Clubbers and get rid of the Atomic. Where is it? I'm gonna do it like this. So we saw the bosses, we saw the Malevolent Hermits, so I don't mind keeping in the Night Clubbers just to clear out what could be a potential blocker in a pinch. Oh my God, that... I am still kind of like in a bit of a daze about how well that Wasteland worked out, because we had absolutely no business winning that on a multi-floor. But hey, we take those, right? Excuse me. So let's ship these, play these, and see if our sweet clock goes. This is... I guess this is keepable. I think this is like on the ultra low end of keep. Oh, never mind. We're good. We're good. Everything's okay. Life is great. We never once didn't have everything we asked for in life. So now, if I can make it to turn 3, then the Thalia is going to be in play, and I have the potential to make use of my Break Trap. So let's see what ends up happening. Petty Theft bouncing that, yeah, sure. So this will be, I guess, reason number 2 that we wanted to specifically put in, rather keep in the Night Clubbers, because other creatures like that were totally on the table. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna play the Plains, Thalia's Lieutenant, and we're just gonna try to win with raw power and toughness. I'm not gonna worry too much about what they can do about a Aether Vial or anything like that. And this keeps up my mana for in my Break Trap. Now, Thalia makes it harder for them to play 3 spells, but I still have the ability to do things. So, okay, another basic island. You can stop with these basics too, if you would be so kind, opponent. So what's this? A Hull Breacher. I don't have anything instant speed, so that's just gonna take out my Thalia's Lieutenant. That sucks. Shit. Okay, I got. Oh my fucking God, there's a Hull Breacher on the table. Oh, it's right there, it's face up. Oh, I am doing really great today, as you can tell. It was face up. Oh, we're so bad today. Oh my God, what am I doing with my entire life right now? Oh God, is this a Narset or a Dazen? Okay, so is there anything I can do about a copy of Thassa's Oracle? I think the answer is no. That was really stupid though. Yeah. Alright, so now they're gonna exile their whole deck, and there's honestly nothing I can really do about the Thassa's Oracle if they have it, so that sucks. Yeah, and they can just do it literally anytime they feel like it. God, that was dumb as shit. I'm like astonished at how bad that was. Okay, so there's an Otawara, so at least I technically have, nope, they're just dead. So yeah, so they get to do this, and they can use the activated part of the Thought Lash to like exile their whole deck, and then they can go ahead and resolve the, resolve the Thalia's, or, whoops, that's my thing. Resolve the Jace's. I was thinking of Thassa's Oracle and said Thalia's Lieutenant. So here I don't want to change anything. I think the setup is still good. I just have to not play like an absolute donkey, which is definitely what happened that time. So here I get to Mom into Freebooter into either Night Clubber or Thalia's Lieutenant. This is fine. It's not perfect, and I would really love to see a copy of Cavern of Souls to help make this be a real good thing. But as it stands, it's not the worst. So here's this. Now let's cast a Mom and see what happens to her. Does she get forced? She does not. Sick. That's a good start. Okay, so this is going to be one of those lands that can sack itself to do 2, yeah. So here, let's see what we can strip out of their hand, or if it gets forced. Force, pitching, force. Okay, I am gonna attack against this deck. Like the mono blue deck, I'm sure they can technically have like gut shot, but Callus on 1 resolves. So let's Thalia's Lieutenant here, and I am gonna wasteland this. Yes. So here I would like to see. Okay, shit. They have the thing. Oh, what if anything can I do about this? There's nothing. I think we have lost this match. Yeah, I'm fairly certain we've just lost this match. Like, they can go ahead and resolve the Thalia's Lieutenant, and there's really just not much I can do about it. I think we were, yeah, we're dead. So, unfortunate, but 3-2, so it's not a losing record, but don't know that I'm super happy about it. Either way, it's what it is, so GG to our opponent. Okay, so 5 rounds over, and all in all, 3-2 was fine. Not great, not fantastic, but fine. But I honestly think that both of our losses were completely acceptable, right? Like, when we got Delvered, we just got Delvered. And we did have a lot of play against the Thassa's Oracle deck, but they drew absurdly well, even for that deck. So I can't even be too mad about the way things shaped up. It's just is what it is sometimes. And the deck is fun to play. Like, I had a pretty good time piloting this. We got to do a lot of things with the Esper Sentinel drawing us extra cards. We got Kitesail Freebooter to do its job a few times. We had a couple of matchups in which we actually wanted to see Tomic. General Kudro was great. Nightclubber, I am impressed. This card performed much, much, much better than I would have really ever expected. Like, of course, we knew the applications of this card going into the matches, but in practice, this card is way better than I thought. Like, I thought it was pretty good, and it was honestly absurdly good. The only things that I think that I would have changed here were probably taking out like the Perish or some number of these Mind Break traps and instead playing like a third Nightclubber somewhere. Like, that card was really good, and I think I might want more than two against decks like Death and Taxes, Elves, the 1/1 versions of all of the creatures that Blue-Red plays. So a third Nightclubber might actually be the wave. And then the last bit of input here is that Mind Break Trap, we had a couple of matches where, you know, we just needed it to do the thing better than it did, and it just like wasn't there. So I don't really know what to substitute in this spot. Or should I just like chalk it up to small sample size that when our opponents were doing combo things, they only needed to play one or two spells in the same turn? You know, a larger sample size will determine that. But for now, I'm going to leave the Mind Break traps as it is, and I might swap out that Perish for a third copy of the Nightclubber. But like I said, everything else was super lit. Like, I really enjoyed playing this list. Like, the combination of General Kudro and Leyline make it so that the graveyard's going to be pretty hard for our opponent to have access to. Our clock was great. Thalia's amazing. Kitesail Freebooter, I get why it's here. It's not my favorite, but I understand it. I don't think I would suggest taking it out. I just kind of acknowledge that it's medium. You know, what can you do there? But sometimes you just get to rip out like a really freaky spell, which is nice. So I don't know. I think I'm just gonna complain about that card forever because I'm used to like things that fuck over spells really fucking spells and spirits, and this is not that. So I should probably stop making that comparison. But overall, I would totally play this deck again. I might play a second Scrubland instead of one of the 3 Silent Clearings, so that you have the ability to fetch just a little bit better for your Nightclubbers when you want to cast them and not blitz them, or so that you can just like slightly more reliably have access to your black mana without taking pain, because that does matter in the Delver matchups. So that might be a thing that I end up like finding or changing or whatever scenario is there. Swift reconfiguration wasn't bad. There were, of course, a couple of matchups where we wanted to shut things down. Like, we got to shut down a Murktide region with it for a couple of turns, which was really sick. That was definitely a huge deal, because when it mattered, it really mattered. And there was, of course, the game that I punted pretty hard against Blue-Red. But I honestly think that, like, had we even played slightly correctly, like, that game would have been so much easier. And we ended up winning that game, too, so there's no justice in the universe at all, right? But that was still pretty fun too. So overall, again, I would definitely choose to play this deck again, and it's cheap enough for Legacy to the point where if you want to build it in paper, that's totally possible. Like, buying 1 or 2 Scrublands is going to easily be the most expensive part of this deck. But past that, if you already have Cavernous Souls from playing something tribal in Modern, great. Karakas can cost a little bit, but okay. Iganjo's still really cheap. Marsh Flats have a million reprints now, so you can get these for what, I don't know, 20-30 bucks if you don't already have them. Not that bad. Silent Clearings are cheap. These aren't cheap, but no dual land is. Wastelands are like 20 bucks in paper, basically nothing. Aether Vials aren't much more than that. Esper Sentinels is going to run you like, what, 100 to 120 for a playset, so those things actually are kind of expensive. But all of the other creatures are basically dirt cheap right now too. Like, I don't even think this is a rare. It's not. It's an uncommon. So, like, that's not expensive. Kudro's not expensive. That's not even a rare. Moms are like 3 or 4 bucks. Like, the rest of this deck is really cheap. Like, even the sideboard, minus Mind Break Trap, is also pretty cheap. So, As far as Legacy goes, this is fairly budget. I think this deck's like well under 2 grand. So that's definitely something to look into if you're looking to buy into Paper Legacy, because this format can get hella expensive, and this is an example of a deck that's not so much. So maybe that will go into your mind when you're deciding, do I want to play Legacy, and if so, what deck? Well, you have a recommendation from me on this. But that's going to be all of our input for today. Tribal nonsense, great times. If you're playing some kind of tribal nonsense in Legacy, let me know what you're doing. If you've seen this deck or have played this deck before too, let me know what your list looks like so that I can, take notes, because this is my first time playing it, and I've seen it here and there in the 5.0 dumps, but that's really it. So input accepted and welcome. I would like to hear from people who are actual experts from this deck, because I'm not that. But that's going to be it for today. If you haven't already done so, make sure to like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I will see y'all on the next one.